welcome back. Welcome to my channel. My name is Tumi Adinuga. If this is your very first time of watching any of my videos, welcome. Here I talk about my life in Canada as a not new, I'm 2 years old in Canada, but as an immigrant in Canada, and I talk about everything and everything in between. So if you follow me, for those that probably follow me and this is not their first time of watching any of my videos, you know that on my Instagram page, I do quite a few things on real estate. So I'm not actually a realtor. I am a real estate marketer. So I work with a number of realtors, especially in Ontario. I help people buy houses actually. So as a content creator, I go and I do my due diligence, and oh my God, I have helped a few people like close on their houses. It might not be like this, but I'm so thankful I've been able to do that for some people. Old houses, pre-construction houses, whatever they want, we help them get it. Once you want to buy a house in Ontario, just leave it to us, we'll get it for you. So buying a house is very good. Currently, this is 2025. I don't know when you'll be watching this video, but this is currently May 2025. And currently in Ontario, in Canada, the house prices are falling. The market prices are really falling. If this is a good time to buy a house, this is a good time because interest rates falling, even the house prices falling as well. So if you are looking at buying, this might be a good time. But for me, no matter what I say, I always say that the day you hear me announce on my channel that we've actually bought our own like property or house, best believe we can really afford it. It's not as if we can't afford it, but I'm always like telling my husband, I know we need to buy. I know people will say, oh, you're renting and you're throwing money away. For me, I don't think of it that way. Personally, I would just say, don't let us like get into a mortgage until when we are like quite comfortable, and that is very subjective and relative. So for now, we are still renters, and of course, we're going to buy. Like there's no, that one is definitely, but I'm not going to be putting myself under pressure that, oh, I came to Canada. No, not to like shade anybody. Of course, I'm not doing that, but at the end of the day, I don't know their pockets, but I'm not under pressure like, oh, because I am a content creator, I came to Canada and in 6 months I must buy a house. I've said it like almost a few times that on this channel, when it's time to buy, I will let you guys know. So if you are planning on buying, whether you're in Ontario, whether you're in Alberta, you're in New Brunswick, whatever province you are in, even if you're watching me from the US as well, I think this would also be very relevant for you. I think it's common knowledge for us to know these things. So I'm going to be giving you at least 7 kind of houses that you shouldn't buy. And this is from me watching, learning, seeing, talking to people, finding out information, and even actually going through it myself. Like we did a little bit of like homework, and we paid like one like home inspector. Structurally outside, the house looked so good, but by the time we paid the home inspector, there were a few defects that were like, oh my God, this is actually more than we thought. So I'll just let you know that this is something that I have observed over time. So if you are looking at buying a house, these are the things that you should also like consider. Number one, these are the kind of houses you shouldn't buy. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you should have this at the back of your mind before you buy this kind of property. Houses that are like over 100 years old. If you live in the UK, that's a different thing entirely. Like their houses, the older, the more expensive, kind of like they build their houses with like maybe like solid steel. My mom's house in the UK is made of steel and bricks. Like that house is solid. It's really solid. So, and for them, they take pride in like their antiques, their old houses. They won't tear it down. No, they won't tear those out. You hardly see them tearing those houses down. But over here in like North America, in the US, in Canada, you see when they tear houses down and they build a brand new one on it and all that. So if you want to buy a house, if the house is very old, please take over. Don't go for old houses because things change. In fact, house of like 30 something years ago is a lot different from now. The kind of insulation that was then is different from now. Then they were using chimneys. Who is using chimney now? Nobody uses chimney. Some people might, but hardly. Most people don't use their fireplaces anymore. The house is well insulated. And that's one thing I like Canada for. As cold as Canada is, once you come into your house, you will not even know it is cold outside, because now the new builds, even in the UK as well, is becoming well insulated. So you don't want to go for that old house that was not properly insulated. You'll be paying a lot, a lot for heating. So why would you want to do that? The money you thought you were saving, you eventually pay when it comes to the monthly bills. And for me, it doesn't really make sense. And it's not as if you don't have a choice. There are choices of like new builds now. There are new houses on the market now. So why would you want to go for a one house that is like over 100 years old, except maybe it is like for a memorial or for something like that? Yes, in that case, why not? But if it's like the house you want to live in, you'll be paying a lot. The plumbing will be different, the electricals will be different. You don't want to go into that route. Please abort mission. I wrote it down on my phone, so I'm just going to be looking at my phone and I'll be telling you what I wrote down. So number two, homes in like flood zone areas. You need to do your due diligence when you're buying to be sure that where you're purchasing, luckily, I would say in Canada, to an extent, maybe flooding is not really an issue. Sometimes it can be, maybe when there's like very heavy rainfall, but of course, most houses have like in their basement, there's like flooding. There's a way they do it that most times, and if it's a new build, there's a way that they do it. There's a suction that takes the water even before it gets the chance to come inside the house. So, but old houses come into play again. Old houses don't have all that. It is now people are doing it in their old like houses, and this is not even house of like 100 years or maybe like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So if you are buying a new build house, of course it's there. To be honest, new build also have their they all have their pros and cons as well. So, but the issue is that you don't want to buy something that is very, very old. The old ones are still good, maybe like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but something not too old. Do you understand what I mean? So please look out for houses that might be in like flood zone areas, because damage and your home insurance too might be quite high if you stay in those kind of places. So you understand what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Number three, houses with oil tanks. Again, do your due diligence. Maybe probably I would say for Ontario, we don't really have like a lot of that. Most houses that I see over here, they are done with like proper like planning. You would hardly see those kind of things so far, the ones I have done, because I go a lot on this like real estate tours, and these are the questions that people ask, and these are the things that we see. So most times, you know that this house is not even on that, it's not on that kind of land. Ontario, even let me even say Canada, Ontario, they take pride in that a lot. Any little thing you just see that they've cut out one particular place, they've labeled it as green belt. You can't build anything there. Like you can't. You'll be seeing that in my mind. I'll be like, this is land. Why are they not building there? But they know why they are not building there. So that's one thing. Most times they've done the homework for you, but it doesn't hurt for you to like still ask one or two questions to find out like where my land is. I hope it is really secure and all that. Number four will be houses with major foundation issues. To your common eye, you might not see this, and that's why I said it's very good for you to use like a home inspector. What you can see, home inspectors see that, and they will tell you how the house is, what is obtainable, what you can get, what you cannot get. So please, before you buy any house, especially if it's not a fresh house, like if you are not just building it, even if it is fresh, you still need like home inspection. Home inspection are like how do I it's a job. So it's not just, they're like engineers, so they actually go and they check out the house for you to be sure that everything is well aligned. Sometimes it might scare you, but there are sometimes that you really need to listen to what they are telling you. There are sometimes that they will just say that this is a major defect. If the foundation is faulty and has a major defect, of course, please run away. It might be cheap, but you know what can happen on the long run if you decide to go with that kind of property. Number five would be houses with previous natural disaster damage. I don't know how you can escape this, but there are times that you see these signs. There are times that maybe when you probably go to a basement of a house that you want to purchase, you're seeing wood, you're seeing like water, that kind of thing. Just like I said, houses in flood prone areas. If you are seeing that water skirt all around, I don't know. I don't think you might be the one to fix it. Mold is very, very dangerous. Once you start seeing mold in like a basement, it's, to be honest, you might not see it in your naked eye, but it's full blown in the whole house, not just the basement. And a lot of people, Canada is not somewhere that you can toy with your health. So anything that can help you to prevent what will make you go to the hospital, please by all means do so. There are some things that are beyond your control, of course, but anything that is within your control and you can control, kindly control it. So if you know any house that, oh, probably they told you that, oh, this house went through this and that, maybe you should consider it more than once. So there are some kind of checks you do, and this also brings me to like maybe houses that probably had one kind of like maybe issue. I don't know, it could be like maybe murder, things like that. You might want to like consider it more, except maybe it's for something that you don't know. So you might want to consider that aspect more. Maybe you should just like try to ask questions. You can look it up. There's stuff on the internet that you can check. If possible, check for the address of the house, look for stuff around it, especially if it is not a new build that didn't have any like existing records or anything. But if you're looking at something of like maybe 5, 10, 20 years ago, I think you should do your due diligence just in case before you put down your down payment or your deposits to purchasing that house. Number 6 will be houses in poorly maintained neighborhoods. So the house might be nice, and this is something for me too. This is something that I think of. I am someone that before I buy anything, though if not bought, but it is something that I am thinking of. If I want to buy a property, for example, even though the house is nice, it fits everything for me, kitchen is nice, bathroom is nice, backyard is well lit and everything, if the house is in a kind of neighborhood I don't like, I don't think I should be buying that house. Or what do you think? So let's say the neighborhood is such that they don't really maintain it, and it happens. There are some places that they give more priority to some other places. They don't plow your snow on time. The schools around there are like, we all know these things. Come on, yes, we know the way these things work. I think it's not just the structural thing you should be considering. It's not just the house in question that you should be considering. The neighborhood too is very key, because that is where you're going to be spending most of your time in. Are you sure that there are no like kind of like burglary incidents all around there? Are you sure that if you park your car like outside, it's safe? Can your children play outside? Can your children go out to the park? Is the area well maintained, or is it somewhere that they've forgotten? Because it happens. There are some places that they give more priority than the others. So despite the fact that, oh, we all love like, okay, very lovely looking, you want your house to depict this kind of picture, which for me as an influencer, those are the kind of things I look out for. But in its entirety, it's not just going to be the structure of the house I'll be looking out for. Neighborhood is also very important. For me, I look at the streets. Is this somewhere that I think mentally I'll start thinking, can my children come out to just play? Can my son just come out to say, oh, mommy, I want to just ride my bicycle, like in front of the house? I think of things like that. It might look like little, it might look like nothing, but honestly, personally, I think of these things. So I think that is another thing you should consider. You should consider the neighborhood, the schools. I know most people do this already, but I know sometimes maybe your dream house might not be in your dream neighborhood or your dream location, and you might want to force yourself to love that dream house. Trust me, you don't want to do that, because you don't want to be going home at the end of the day and you're already bothered, like, oh, what's this and all that. So that's one thing I think you should really, really consider before buying any house. And last but not the least, this will be houses with over the top, would I say, over the top amenities. And this is not a general thing. This is not for everybody, because some people can genuinely afford it. But I'm just saying this for the fact that if you want it to have like remarketable value, resale value, as with my little things as a real estate marketer, I have seen these things. This kind of houses might not go off the market quickly, because everybody is not your target audience. So if you're buying that kind of expensive house, not everybody has the pocket to maintain that kind of house. So someone that is looking at renting, that's not the kind of house they're looking out for. People are thinking of survival. People are thinking of like, let me just get somewhere to like eat and lay down my head. And not thinking of, oh, like over the top, oh, this is how the bathroom is. Those things are nice, definitely. Please don't get me wrong. Those things are very, very nice. But let's say you're now buying for like maybe your first home or like home for like investment, those might not be the kind of houses you should like consider, except you've like bought a number and this is another one you want to have in the books. In that case, why not? But if it's something that you're really considering, like you're thinking of real estate as for investment, for like family, those kind of houses really do not have like a lot of like high turnover, because just like I said, people will think of maintenance. Maintaining that kind of house, number one, bills alone in a month can be like 1K. Bills alone, that's aside rent or something. Before you get someone that will be able to afford that, that's like 1 in 10 people, probably, or 1 in 5 people. So you might not necessarily need to have that at the first or top of your options, because the maintenance might be really, really high for you or for any other person. For you, of course, it's fine. You might be able to maintain it, you might be able to foot the bills, but you also have to think of the fact that anything that you're thinking of should maybe factor the environment you're staying in. Of course, if it's for you, your family, and things like that, that would pass. But if you're thinking of it for like the environment, you might need to like think, because the target audience you're talking to, when you look at it, this might not be people that might be able to afford it. And this is not to like cast aspersions or anything. If it's in the US, maybe like in Texas, why not? Almost all their houses are like that. Most times, I've been to a few places in Texas, Richmond Hill, Sugarland, Katy. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but in fact, Texas, basically, Texas. Okay, yes, Houston. I was in Houston, Texas, and most places there were like that. Maybe it doesn't mean anything to anybody. I've heard it that for every 10 people in the US, one person is a millionaire. There are much more millionaires in the US than in Canada. So Canada is a bit more conservative, and we all understand this. We all know this. So your target audience is quite different. You might be able to afford it, but maybe not your target audience, so to say. So these are things you should be considering when you're like buying your first home, buying other homes, buying other properties, because I know most of us, we don't like to stop at one. You like to buy more and more and more. So I hope this video helped you, even though I am not a realtor. I hope this video helped you and made sense to you. If you have other questions you would like to ask, other things you would like to know, please let me know in the comment section, or you can even send me an email. My email address is iamtomiadenoga@gmail.com. I'll be very, very happy to answer your questions. I help people get houses almost everywhere in Ontario. New build houses, all those pay small, small, freehold, free assignments, name it, anyone, pre-construction, after construction, any construction, I do it. Luxury, we do everything. Budget wise, we do everything. 5 bed, 7 bed, 3 bed basement, 2 kitchens. You're talking to me. Don't worry, I got you. So if you have any question at all, I link you with the best realtors. My realtors, in fact, oh my God, they're the best. Like, look at my house. If you've not even watched my home tour, just watch it on my channel. It's right there. Like, I love this home so much. It just fits my family. Like when I was coming to Canada, and this is the very first place we landed in Canada, like we came to this place and I fell in love with it. So you can imagine when you trust someone without even seeing that place. Like we paid for this house even before we entered physically. We didn't have to like come to see. We just trusted our realtor and she gave us the best. So, and this is the same thing I help people do. So if you have any other question, please feel free to let me know. And I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye.